Welcome into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information related to your Pittsburgh Steelers. I hope you all had a good Easter weekend as we are now on Monday, April 21st. We're 3 days away from the NFL draft, and I am seeing rumors starting to twirl about the Steelers possibly trading up to get in front of the Saints. The Saints lost their quarterback, Derek Carr, to an injury over this offseason. More than likely, he's going to miss the rest of next season, and that makes it very, very likely they're going to take a quarterback with their number 9 overall selection. Now, what team could the Steelers trade up with to make this happen? The rumors I've been seeing suggested are Carolina. They're in the same division as the New Orleans Saints. That always lends itself to teams wanting to screw with their division rivals, someone they play twice a year. Carolina right now is at number 8 in the draft. With draft tech charts, they suggest it's going to take more than a second round pick for the Steelers to move up that far and for the Carolina Panthers to want to move back. Now, what was a suggestion I've seen for us to be able to make this happen? George Pickens is a big piece in this trade if it goes down, I feel like. Carolina right now needs a wide receiver. We've seen George Pickens. He's been able to produce on the field. I think he's more than a second round talent. I know we took him in the second round a couple years back. He's in his final year of his contract. Are we going to re-sign him after this year? We don't really know. We just gave a big deal to DK Metcalf. So can you really pay two big-time receivers like that all their money? I don't know if we're able to keep him after this year. So this could be a good move up for the Steelers to secure that quarterback 1 in their locker room. Now, who's going to be there at number 8, possibly? Shedeur Sanders, if he slides past the top 3, more than likely he's still going to be there at number 8. And Jackson Dart is most likely going to be there also. I'm more interested on the Sanders side of things for this trade. If it's just Dart left, I don't think this trade should happen unless the Steelers really see something that I've been missing. But I don't like Dart at all. But let's talk about Sanders a little bit more, because what's the outlook for this team if we do secure someone like Shedeur Sanders? He's probably starting day 1. You don't really need to bring in Aaron Rodgers anymore if you have Shedeur Sanders. We don't even know what's happening with Rodgers. You can toss that out the window, though, if you're able to land Sanders, because he's going to start day 1. He has the mobility and experience behind an O-line where we've seen that he can extend plays and make things happen just by himself and just by his athleticism. He doesn't have the strongest arm, though, but he graded out as the best thrower of the ball beyond the sticks coming into this draft. So that is a little scary when you have a weaker arm in the NFL, because there are tighter windows compared to college. Especially, you're not going to have your guy Travis Hunter anymore. So can he fit it into those tight spaces in the next level without the cannon of an arm like some of these other prospects have coming out, like Jalen Milroe? He has a cannon for an arm. Dart has a stronger arm probably than Sanders also. But it would be interesting to see Sanders on this team. He seems to really want to be here on this team too. He really enjoyed his meeting. He said it was a 10 out of 10 meeting with the Steelers when he came to town. And he loved Mike Tomlin. Now, he also has the experience of turning around a struggling organization or just struggling program with the Colorado Buffaloes. He turned with the help of his father. He was able to make the Colorado Buffaloes relevant once again. So that makes him even more enticing in my thoughts, because when you're playing with not all the 5-star talents, it's more on you at that quarterback position to perform up to par for your team to win. So he was able to do that relatively consistently in his last year in college. I know his first year in Colorado, there were some struggles with the whole team and all, and then they made a lot of transfer moves, and then the team got better last year. But I think that is the guy. If we're going to draft a quarterback in the first round, you got to go after Dart. I'm more in favor of avoiding Dart and going after this next guy in the later rounds. Will Howard is my later round guy that I have kind of began to fall in love with for the Steelers to take because the confidence on this dude and the swagger he has is off the charts. It feels like he's been going up my board consistently over the past couple weeks. He had that Gruden on John Gruden's quarterback class, so he really looked brilliant out there. Really looks like a strong candidate for any team to take. And then on Hey Rookie, welcome to the NFL, an NFL Network program. He said, I'm going to make it my mission to make sure they regret not picking me. He's talking about other teams drafting quarterbacks ahead of him. I think he's going to have that chip on his shoulder entering the league, and we've seen how that works for some quarterbacks that get drafted later into a draft. It works very well, it seems like. Brock Purdy is a recent example of this. I mean, the best example, of course, is Tom Brady in the sixth round. Having that chip on your shoulder adds just a little extra motivation for these highly talented quarterbacks coming in to the league. Also, I don't think he'd start day one, even if Rodgers doesn't sign. I think Mason would probably be our guy the first week of the season. But that's not too bad of a thing because Will Howard in his college career has shown that he's willing to beat. At K State, he they brought in a transfer quarterback to compete with him for his job. He was able to beat him out for the starting position. I think if he came to Pittsburgh, he'd be able to do the same thing by like week 4. I think you'd see him because I don't think Mason Rudolph is really gonna do that well with us this year. I mean, he had a strong end to the season 2 years ago to lead us to the playoffs, but I don't know if that's gonna transition into this next season for last year with the Tennessee Titans, and it didn't go so well for Mason Rudolph. But also, the last thing I want to say about Will Howard is his height and weight are eerily similar to Josh Allen, who we've seen in the NFL dominate the league. He's the defending MVP of the league. So that's also very interesting, just having the intangibles of someone like Josh Allen. Also, when you compare him to Josh Allen, who was someone Josh Allen was compared to coming out of the draft? Big Ben Roethlisberger. If we can get our next Big Ben in here, us Steelers fans will be all on board with someone like Will Howard, if he plays like Ben, able to break off sacks, able to move just a little bit. He's not the quickest guy, but he still is mobile enough to extend some plays and even tuck it and run it sometimes. Now, that's not his game, but that's something he is willing to do if he sees the alleyway. But let's move on to our Monday comments as we're going to take a look at some of the past week's top comments. BMJ actually has 2 of the top comments on videos last week, so let's talk about his comments. He said, rebuilding without him, there's nothing wrong with moving on. It's a business, not personal. He's talking about TJ Watt right there. Right now, it does seem that way. It does seem like the Steelers might be going in a different direction than TJ Watt, not going to be able to figure out the whole contract situation. Does he hold out? Does he get traded? Who knows right now? Uh, I'm not really fully on board with that. I love me some TJ Watt. It's hard. I got a personal connection with TJ Watt just from watching him and him giving me joy his whole career so far. It was my late in high school when he came in, and I've graduated college now, and TJ's been the one consistent thing on this team for all those years. So it's hard for me to say let's move on from TJ Watt, but I see where he's coming from now. I mean, you guys in the comment sections have kind of been turning me around on TJ Watt as you all seem to be fine with letting him go. So maybe I just have some some issues with loss. So another comment from BMJ though, he said he's a pure cancer for an NFL locker room. Move on. He's talking about Aaron Rodgers there. I think it's time. I'm gonna completely agree with this at this point. He has completely lost me, and I was a diehard Aaron Rodgers defender when he was later seasons with Green Bay. Even at the Jets, I was a diehard Aaron Rodgers defender. But at this point, think he's lost me. And once you lose me, after I've been defending you for that many years, there ain't that many people left to defend you anymore. Um, so I'll have to agree. Let's move on from Aaron Rodgers. I'm kind of over all the drama he's already causing without him even being in the locker room. So it might just make sense to avoid that at all costs. Maybe just sign a different veteran quarterback, like someone like Carson Wentz. I know he's probably wouldn't start for us, but just having that veteran presence in the locker room could benefit a rookie quarterback that comes in. And also, final comment from Fat Boy on the Sticks. As a Ravens fan, boo. But it would be electric to see Sanders versus Lamar on Monday Night Football. But Will Howard is the better choice. I agree with him completely. Lamar and Sanders going head to head on night games would be something fantastic to watch. I do believe that would be some fun football to watch between the Ravens and the Steelers, even though I would want to blow them out every week. But probably not going to happen. We know how we play each other. But I also agree with Will Howard being the better option, kind of. I do see more bust potential in Sanders since he is so highly graded. And Howard is someone you can take in the later rounds. There's no real pressure on him to perform up to a level that Sanders has to when he first comes into the league. So Howard could just relax, sit behind Rudolph or another veteran quarterback for a couple weeks or the full season, develop well on the bench, while Sanders would be more thrown to the fire. And sometimes that doesn't really work out well with these young, athletic quarterbacks just coming into the league. But I have to agree. I do like me some Will Howard, especially after him showing all the confidence over the past couple weeks. But this has been that episode of Steelers Latest. I've been your host, Cole Dennis, and I will see you tomorrow.